Hey guys, Jonathan Rose. Today's video, we're going to talk about how to analyze the yield curve using an awesome tool shared by the CME group. So let's get into it. In front of you, Treasury futures yield curve, directly from the CME group. Let me show you how I got to this page before I expand and explain exactly how we can use this page. Go to CME group. On top, just go to trading. Go to interest rates, click. On the right here, there's all these awesome tools. Interest rate tools, Treasury analytics. Treasury analytics will take you to this page. And then on the left here, you can look at the futures yield curve, the cash yield curve, the intercommodity spreads, which are given from the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Today, we're going to look at the futures yield curve. Let's look a little bit at the cash yield curve as well. So the futures yield curve, if I just press on it, it looks like that. The cash yield curve displays like this, where you can get 1 month going out to 30-year, and this is the value of the cash notes and the cash bonds. Please remember, the futures are a derivative of the cash. Futures are a derivative of the cash, just like options are a derivative of stock. So you can go and look at the cash component and the value of each instrument along the yield curve. If I go to the futures yield curve, it looks like that. Great thing about this tool is we can compare it and see how the yield curve has changed over time. So let's compare it to a year ago. Treasury futures yield curve. 1 year ago, in this brown or orange or burnt sienna color, and this is the current. Notice how 1 year ago, yields were definitely trending higher, right? We had the 30-year above 3%. We had the 10-year about 2.95%. Well, 1 year later, a lot has changed. The yield curve, the entire thing has revalued itself all the way down here. If you want, you can look at the changes 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. And that's what's in front of you. What I teach is I teach how to trade these different points along the yield curve. Because as you can see, current all the way down here, 1 year ago up here, you see this funky shape? That's a really, really weird shape. That's probably not going to last. This is historically a normal shaping yield curve, as is this. Right now, the front month yields or the lower duration yields 2.3, really, really low, inverted. The 5 year is actually yielding less than the 2 year. Will that hold? That's when traders need to look historically. See how things behaved in the past. See how the equity markets are behaving while the yield curve moves and while the yield curve changes shape. And then you can get more color. You just get to be a better trader, a better financial professional by not only looking at the S&P futures and the Dow futures, but now you're looking at the Treasury futures. Now you're trying to get in front of what the Fed could possibly be doing. It sure seems like if the front end rates stay well down here, these back end rates are going to get lower and lower and lower. Here you can look at the history of the yields. If we go back 1 year, this will show us how each different one of the components of the yield curve moved individually as they moved in a group. Notice now that ultra is kind of getting a little out of whack relative to the other ones. Maybe that's a trade opportunity. I don't know. We'll look into it. This is what I teach. It's a really good trade. 2003, I joined a firm. I was the 6th employee. Within 7 years, we grew it to over 200 employees before we sold to a major firm, a major hedge fund. That firm focused all on Treasury bond futures, interest rate futures. Play around with this. It's a really cool tool. Any questions? Email support at Active Day Trader. Happy to help. Thanks, guys.